Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Divine Feminine Rebirth Show. I'm very happy to be joining you all for this very special show. Very excited tonight. I'm Julie from Maison Gipta, and I'm here with my two beautiful soul sisters, which I'll introduce in just a second. But tonight we will be talking about the Lionsgate portal. So I know this topic was kind of under some kind of controversy, I believe. Last year, I heard a lot about it in the spiritual community. A lot of people were like, is it true? Is it a hoax? Because Sirius is not really aligning with the sun on that date. So we will be talking all about the mysteries of the Lion's Gate and revealing some astrological information as well as mystical information from Soul's side and Elena's side. So stay tuned and we'll have a special announcement towards the end of the show. So first, let me introduce Elena. How are you, Elena? And are you feeling this Leo season energy yet?
I love this season energy. And hi, Julie, by the way. Hello, everybody. Hello, Soul. I find this energy so beautiful, powerful. I feel like we're all shining right now. I feel so much energy. I feel like it's going to be an amazing month. How are you?
Well, you are shining for sure today. You look lovely, and thank you guys for commenting in the chat too. I'll pop up all the comments during the live. Thank you for joining us. And hi, Soul, how are you at the other end of the world where it's colder than it is here?
Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of weather for Leo season over here, but it's so nice to be with you girls and with our soul family here. I just love it, and I love Leo season, especially being a Leo and right in the middle of Leo. So yeah, I always love Leo season.
Yes, I forgot to say your birthday is coming up very soon. Do you have some solar return plans for that very special date?
Yeah, so I was so blessed that you did my chart. So I'm already prepared and having a look. And yeah, I was thinking of going to the States for my birthday, but the chart's so good for staying here in Australia that, yeah, I'm staying home for my birthday this year. But maybe travel plans later, because I know that's in the chart. So yeah, also looking over the solar return and looking at it to do with my kids' charts. It's been really interesting because one of my girls is turning 18 this year. So she's going to get into it with me. We're going to do her solar return just to see, exactly like if we should celebrate her birthday here in Melbourne or if we should fly somewhere else.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're now very knowledgeable in the solar return department. And hey, Sophie, nice to see you.
Sophie.
And yeah, I just wanted to remind that talking about the solar return, just wanted to remind everybody here, we have still a few days left for the 50% off promo for the workshop. If you'd like also to learn how to cast your own solar return chart, for your birthday, upcoming birthday, and also your current birthday, and also decide where you want to be in the world to manifest your intentions for your next birthday, your next solar return. So your solar return chart will influence you from birthday to birthday, so for a whole year. So it's kind of important to look at it, and it's a very powerful manifestation technique. So check it out. It's on the maisongipter.com website, and the link is below in the description box if you're interested in that. Thank you so much, Tim. He says the goddesses are all here and our beautiful divine masculine as well in the chat. So very happy to see you all. And hi, Jake. Nice to see you. He says excited for the show tonight with a little lion emoji. I love that. Let me first introduce the subject to maybe, I don't know if you guys in chat were aware of that controversy surrounding Lionsgate or not, but I was made aware of that around this time last year. And I saw like a bunch of posts on Instagram, on Reels, saying that it was something to make money in the spiritual community, but it was not really based in true astrology or in real, let's say, astrological alignments or energetic portals. So a lot of people were saying that the Lionsgate, which happens every year on the 8/8, so August 8th, is a lot of people were saying that it's not really true, because some people in the spiritual community were saying that on the Lion's Gate, the sun was aligning with Sirius, the star Sirius. So we're going to shine some light on that controversy. So stay tuned. But I just want to say right here, when I got into the subject deeper myself, before doing my research and getting deeper into the research, I pulled some cards for myself, because this is what I like to do whenever I'm not sure about something I'm hearing. Is that true? Is that not true? And my cards were saying that this portal was still a very important energetic alignment or portal of energy. So I'm not going to go too deep at this point of the show. I'm going to give you the astrological information later on. But first, I want to ask you, Sol, what do you know about the Lionsgate portal, and what do you know about its connection to Sirius? And what can you tell us about what you think is this Lionsgate portal?
Yeah. So for me, I've celebrated, I think, oh gosh, over 20 something years. But usually I'll look into not the Lionsgate so much, but it's always been the 23rd of July. So I think, what date are we here in Australia? It's the 25th. So we've just started, and the 23rd of July is where Sirius rises before the sun in Egypt. So that kind of starts that season for me, and it starts that alignment with Sirius. So I've really always looked at it from that point, with Lionsgate coming in the 8th of the 8th. And we've got to look at it from, there's two narratives with things going on. So even like with the eclipse energy that we had back in April, that date that it was on was also a date that's used as a satanic harvest date. So, there's the good and the bad. It's all to do with your intention. So I really like to just throw everything out. And it's about our intentions. It's not about getting too caught up in, what people are saying, like what's trending or anything like that. I still see it as a powerful date. And if we look into numerology, and I had a quick little math sum that I did last night. Let me just check what number it was. I think it was 6 when I was looking into what the numerology. Yeah. So this year it was all more connecting, like to do with nurturing, empathic energies, relationship building, and really kind of like that stability of, divine feminine. Yeah. So for me, that's what I'm going to be focused on this year, is just like coming back into that feminine power. I know other years I've done big crystal mandalas, and that's something that I just always feel guided to do on Lionsgate, is set up crystals just to kind of hold the frequency or power. It could be because I'm a Leo as well. So I've done figure 8 portals with other crystals poignant to activate, and had some pretty, as we say over here, trippy experiences. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's all about the energy and your intention.
Yeah, I love that, Sol. And Britt Merritt is saying 888. And yeah, that was the next point I wanted to bring up, is that this year, I believe, will be extra special for the 88 portal. Because yes, it has an astrological significance, and we'll talk about it in just a few minutes, but also it has a numerological importance, because the 88 is, let's say, obviously a very powerful portal in numerology. But this year, especially if we reduce 2024 to a number between 1 and 9, we get another 8. So it's an 888 portal this year. And I believe this is what why you were getting to a 6 soul. So if we add 3 times 8, 24, and 2 plus 4, 6. So yes, totally. It has a 6 vibration overall with this divine feminine energy. I love it. And I believe also this is Elena's favorite number, right?
It is.
So let me know, Elena, why, first of all, it's your favorite number. And also, what do you believe the vibration of 8 is bringing to us for this portal?
Well, first of all, since I was a kid, the number 8 was always my lucky number, without knowing that it was the number of the Scorpio. Without knowing everything, it was just really by intuition. So that's why I feel like, oh wow, this is so important. And talking about the eternity as well, balancing everything. So powerful because we really see the flow going into that number. That's actually the only number that we can actually go around. Well, 0 as well, but the 8, it's like a flow that it's really very nice. And by doing something powerful with these number, I feel like because we just went out like of like a big shift, and now we're stepping into a new journey. It is the perfect moment to do something and manifest together. And for me, it's like I can believe like this number, it's like coming right now, and we're going to be together, gathering with the 888. Very powerful. And my moon is actually Leo. As a Leo, my dad is a Leo. I feel connected a lot with the Leo. I'm surrounded by a lot of Leo.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. And this is what the other day we had a lot of fun. We were talking, let's say, about Leos, kind of complaining about, let's say, the dark sides of the Leo because we have so many Leos around us. But at the same time, I said to Elena, you know why? What's funny about all this, very ironic, is that both of us have like really strong Leo in our charts too. So Elena's got a Leo moon and I got a Leo rising. Sol is a Leo sun. So I believe like
And
with
North
perfect
Node.
and North Node also.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we have very strong Leo. So yeah, we're allowed to talk about the annoyances also of the Leos.
Yeah. And I feel like the Leos, it's really like, yes, they have a strong energy, but so sensitive. So they just want to be, you just want to listen to the Leo, and the Leo just need like a bit of attention, and it's going to be a very happy Leo.
Oh, so true. Well said, Elena. And yeah, it's the sign of the heart. It's the heart chakra that opens. It's the sign of unconditional love, of joy, of giving. It's the light that shines really bright. It's the sun. And on that note connection, also, we were talking about the number 8 in tarot. Well, at least in the Rider-Waite tarot, the number 8 card is the strength card, which we can see is associated with Leo. So another parallel that we can also add to all the mix of this Lionsgate portal right into Leo season. So, and the strength card, as you can see here, we have the 8 here in Roman numbers, but also we have the 8 here as the infinity symbol. And you were referring to that, Elena, which talks about the cycle of death and rebirth and the infinity of the energy being recycled. So that's really interesting because it's also a link to the Scorpio energy, which is the 8th house in astrology and the 8th sign in astrology. So I feel like all that connects so well together, and there's so much power within that card because this is how we learn to really use this raw energy, this raw primal energy of the Leo, of the lion, of the beast, as we say here on the card. And we channel it to use all this spiritual power of this raw energy. And it talks about also about sexual energy, primitive energy, life force. And we can really transcend it, alchemize it into a spiritual power. And this Lion's Gate also is very much connected to Sirius and to this spiritual power that we have. So I believe the connection to Scorpio is very accurate, actually, Elena. And I love the parallel you were talking about. Did you want?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because I find like it is so powerful. Like you're looking at the Leo, but it's like it's powerful, but also it's like positive energy. That's what I love about what's going on right now. That's the biggest feeling that I'm having.
Yeah, very, very resonant. And you know what I remember when we did the last meditation? Was it for
Friday?
What was it again? Remind me.
Hold on. It was the full moon. So the second full moon.
Capricorn full moon. You're right. Okay.
So it was very powerful.
because it's conjunct Pluto. And the card that kept popping up for the last two meditation is energetic sovereignty. And when I look into my notes for this tarot card, the Strength card, it talks about this energetic sovereignty. So I believe we are all being guided to really look at this theme of really own our own energy. And let's say this concept of stepping back into our power, that's also, I feel, very much targeted for this community of light workers, of starseeds. So how can you, what do you think is, let's say, the message, or you can go from, let's say, your inspiration or the cards, whatever you wish to do, but how do you think we can associate this concept of energetic sovereignty with this Lionsgate portal, and especially for people here listening to this show from this community?
Yeah. So, and I saw one of Jake's questions as well about what crystals to use. So citrine would be a really good one. Garnets, the Donax, all, anything that's to do with Leo would be really good. I've never really resonated so much with the green peridot in terms of like for it being more of like an August or like Leo season. And there's a difference between the July Leos compared to the August Leos. They say that the July Leos are like a bit more introverted. But when you were showing the card with the figure 8, to me, I just kept thinking belly dancing. That's what I'm going to be doing this year. When you girls were talking about figure 8, I'm like, this is how we can open up and ground this portal and bring in, all of this sexual energy that you girls were talking about associated with this. And yeah, I can't wait to do a bit of belly dancing on the portal. I do have this one as well, the Lion Spirit.
Wow.
And this one is from the Animal Spirit deck. This little one. So I picked this out for today. I actually had to go through all of the cards because I just wanted to show you girls that beautiful picture. But it does have a protection message. So it really is how we were saying before about that tapped into that divine feminine kind of nurturing energy. What's interesting is even though it's ruled by the sun and you've got that radiating frequency and about radiating your light and kind of taking that out into the world or being a beacon of light, in original culture, it's more of a feminine sign because the sun gives life to everything, whereas the moon is the one to kind of temper the women and temper the hormones and everything. So they see the moon as more feminine. So in different cultures, the masculine feminine sort of switches a little. So if we're looking at the Lionsgate and we're anchoring this belly dancing kind of figure 8 that you can do with your hips, and I know Elena, you love the bachata as well, so it'd be a good day to do that. But yeah, just have a protection message. It's talking about who am I to step into my dreams? So it's all about activating, stepping into your power. But I'll just grab some quick tarot.
And yes, we're having a fairy festival in the background, and in Elena's background as well, just before we recorded.
Yeah, there was one that looked like a fairy light, but it was flying sideways in Elena's background. So let me just get, all right, so we've got, actually, they want a bonus 4th. Let me just grab this one. I'll feel into these before we flip them over. So what I'm actually seeing and perceiving is there's an ethereal kind of portal that opens up on this day. What's fascinating is I'm seeing an Egyptian temple and I'm seeing light stream in from another dimension, and I'm seeing different anchor points within the temple that we can anchor this light or this kind of veil between worlds or dimensions. So if we think of it as a day where the veil's very thin, and this is a day that we can help to manifest our dreams or pour energy, pour power into this physical realm. So what we were saying at the start about your intention, it's really, really important to have that. So I'll flip these over. And what we see is the Knight of Wands. So with this sort of fire energy, for me, it doesn't necessarily mean the traditional meaning. Spirit always talks about, it's about releasing anything that could be subconsciously delaying or holding you back, or any old belief systems that no longer serve. We do actually have the 7 of Wands, which is also known as the Strength card, Mars and Leo. So have a look at what your belief systems are. What is it that you perhaps have let lie dormant? This would be a great day to bring it into completion. So 4 of Wands energy. So yeah, we've got some fiery energy with some of these.
Wow. Yes, lots of fire. Thank you, Sol, for that. I appreciate it. And okay, before I ask you the next question, I want to give a little bit of background around the, let's say, astronomy side of Sirius with the connection with the Lionsgate. So this is not an astrological portal that much, but rather an astronomical. So we can visually see, as you said so well, Sol, before the beginning of the show. So this is not the alignment of the sun with Sirius that we had in July. This is when we can visually see Sirius rising right before the sunrise. So this is happening around, let's say, mid-August, depending on your location. For most people, it's going to be mid-August or around the Lionsgate, or around the 8/8. And I'm going to show you just a visual here. So we can see, look, so right before the sun rises in the eastern horizon, we will kind of be able to see with our eyes the star Sirius, which is usually pretty bright. But depending on, let's say, people say with Babylonian type of astrology or ancient type of astrology that depending on the color and the brightness of Sirius when it first rises on the horizon, we can have, let's say, an idea of what kind of year we're going to have. So for a lot of people, and including Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, they used to look at that sign, omen, to, let's say, start their new year. And for a lot of people in the spiritual community, they have also kept this idea of starting the spiritual new year on the Lionsgate, let's say in tradition with the ancient Egyptians, because it was coinciding with the flooding of the Nile, so giving new life to agriculture and wealth, health. So Sirius is connected to all those concepts: abundance, wealth, luck, also this spiritual leadership type of concept. So I thought it was a beautiful picture just to give you a little visual here. And it is believed that there's a triangle of stars. So you can see on internet, let's say there are a few different, let's say, marks in the sky that you can use to locate Sirius. But apparently it's very early. You have to wake up around, like, let's say 4:30 or 5 in the morning to really be able to see it around those dates. So all that to say that it's visually when you can start seeing Sirius on the eastern horizon. So it is called the heliacal rising of Sirius. And what I also find interesting is that we say that Sirius is, let's say, of the nature of Mars and Jupiter being in conjunction. And we're going to have, let's say, this conjunction coming up. But all of that to say that it is very powerful. So Jupiter talks about this spiritual leadership, this expansion. Mars gives us this drive, this raw energy. So it really coincides with this idea that we were talking about, the Leo season. So we can locate in the horoscope, in let's say in your birth chart, if you have something, let's say a planet or an angle around 14 degrees of Cancer. So you will have, let's say, sort of those quality brought by the star Sirius. So let's say you have your sun there. It means you have your sun on Sirius. So you're going to have that very much activated in your birth chart. So look up 14-degree Cancer in your birth chart. Maybe you have your midheaven there, your rising sun, your ascendant. Maybe you have a planet. So it's interesting to look at that. And I wanted to ask also, Sol, on that note, because I was kind of, let's say, getting the idea that, well, I was doing a lot of research about Sirius, and a lot of people were saying in the spiritual community that, let's say, spiritual masters and spiritual avatars that came to Earth were probably, let's say, from Sirius. So I was wondering, and I'll let you comment on that in just a few seconds, but I was wondering if you have, let's say, a planet aligning with the star Sirius in your birth chart, does it mean that you have had like recent incarnation on Sirius, or is your soul, let's say, feels more at home on Sirius? What's your take on that, Soul?
Yeah. So when we look into, and it's funny, I've got Venus in Cancer. So I've got to look if it's 14 degrees. But Sirius for me was one of the first places I remembered coming from in terms of like this galaxy. My earliest memories go further back than that. But when we look into beings that come from Sirius, there's a lot of cat beings, there's humanoid type beings. It is a place, like when we look in the starseed readings, when I have that come up, and Aldebaran. These are usually two places where we have, I just saw a fairy.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is usually where we have mystics, oracles, and seers come from. So where you were talking about, like with certain ascended masters and things coming in through that portal, it might not be that they originate from Sirius, but they usually will use that as a way to kind of step down into the next level, being, into the earth vibration, or they have also these temples with pools of water around them. So in these temples, we actually will scire and look into the water and use them as interdimensional portals. And over here in Aboriginal culture as well, water is considered a portal. So you can actually go from place to place, or you can project your consciousness into different things. But yeah, going back to the cat being side of things, when we look into the ancient Egyptian statues like Sekhmet, and there's Bast as well, the big, beautiful cat goddesses. And it's interesting because they're kind of feminine but powerful. Like when you look into Sekhmet, you don't want to mess with her. So she's fiercely, mother-like and protective. But you can actually do, the meditation I've got for free on my site, Soul Star, you actually go through the Sirian gateway, the Sirian portal. And so you just set your intention to choose where it is that you want to go, interdimensional or into different galaxies. What's interesting is Sirius to me had always appeared like that triangle that you showed. And it was the Dogon tribe in Africa that had the visitation from the beings from Sirius. So they actually talked about UFOs landing and dolphin-like creatures that are standing up on their tail fins, teaching the Dogon about the revolution of Sirius A and B, forming almost like a DNA spiral. And it was 100 years later it was discovered that they were actually telling the truth, because we didn't have the telescopes at the time to be able to talk about astronomically what was happening.
Wow, this is fascinating. And I'm just going to comment on that in a few seconds, because I want to bring out also the idea of this binary star with the sun and Sirius. But right before, there is Tim here who says it's near my midheaven. Very powerful, let's say, spiritual mission that you have to do in this lifetime for sure. Corbin is saying my moon is at 15-degree Cancer. So this is a beautiful, and I would give like 2, maximum 3 degrees orb, let's say near 14-degree of Cancer. So moon is very psychic. So I believe, Corbin, you are in the right community and the right field, because you're very, very psychic, very attuned to, let's say, this sacred knowledge. And I believe you know a lot about astrology as well. Awesome. And John is saying, I remember living on Sirius long, long ago. Many from Atlantis did pre-Egypt. This is very fascinating. So, and I love having Soul here, because I believe you feel very connected with Sirius, and it's always like we always have like very important pieces of information whenever you're here on the show. So I want to remind everybody that because you spoke about the starseed reading, which can help a lot of people decipher what kind of ET lineage origins they have. And it can help, let's say, guide you in this lifetime, because different DNAs, different lineage will help you achieve different type of missions. And so if you are interested in that, I just wanted to remind everybody here that it is available on the maisonjupiterwebsite.com, so maisonjupiter.com. And the code to get your 10% off for your next reading is Jupiter. So that being said, I wanted to bring up the idea that a lot of people are talking about the sun being in a binary system with Sirius. And I want to bring a little visual here. And I'm sure, Sol, you know a lot about that as well.
It's cool to see the little glyph.
Oh, nice. And yeah, it makes sense now that I see it. So then I came across some information that said that let's say before we used to view Sirius as a red star, but now we see it as a blue star. And the reason for that being that before we were, let's say, getting away from each other, like the solar system, the sun and Sirius were getting away from each other. So this is called the period of time where we kind of lose, let's say, our connection to the divine, to the sacred knowledge, to source. And then now that we just begun to, let's say, go back on the right, let's say, side of things, gaining more consciousness, gaining more connection to source, remembering all of the sacred knowledge that we had, now we see it blue. So this Sirius has become more of a guiding light, a guiding star, and we are remembering all of this sacred knowledge. And I believe that's what we are doing here on the Maison Jupiter channel and with this community. So I thought that was really cool. And what did I want to say from that? Yeah, so Sol, did you want to add anything to that? You said something about a glyph.
Oh yeah. So when you look into like the shape of the little graph that you've put up, it actually has the glyph of the Vesica Pisces almost, so like right in the center. But yeah, it's interesting when I started to more tune into like my origins and connections with Sirius. So I'm deeply connected to Lyra, Sirius, and Pleiades. But Sirius is one of the main languages that I speak, Syrian. So with this, it's one that we use for healing. It's one that we use for activation. And it's one that we use to help kind of like sing people's soul to more kind of embody and embrace the essence of, I guess, if we're looking into our soul being scattered and we've been to many, many different places galactically, sometimes with Syrian activation or Syrian light language, you can actually call those parts of your soul back and it will help to bring back memories. So that's something that's really good you can do in a starseed reading if you want like an individual activation as well.
Wow, yes, so profound. And I believe we're going to be guided to know more about those origins and those, let's say, forgotten pieces of sacred knowledge, and especially with that Lionsgate portal. Elena, do you have any guidance, something that your guides have been, let's say, telling you about recently? Did you get any intuition about this upcoming Lionsgate portal? And also about what is it that we're trying to do with this community? Because, and we're going to show you the activation in just a moment, but what did you feel guided to? Why did you feel guided to, let's say, create this activation for Lionsgate?
Well, first of all, I know that right now there's so many things that are going on in the world. So we don't want to get into this fear. It's better to stay into this light energy, powerful energy, taking that Leo energy plus the Sirius, that it's so powerful. So even if you don't know your birth chart, if you feel like you're connected with animals, you're going into deep conversation. You don't want, you really want to have deep conversation with your gathering with people, whenever you're going somewhere as well, to know exactly what's going on. Not too many people. That also are signs that you are connected. So there's many signs in this community that we are all linked into that energy. And this is the reason why with the 888, it is so important to get all this positive energy, powerful energy, and to be able to step in what we really need to do and what is our path. It is the time to do it right now.
Wow. Yeah. And again, we were talking about this. Well, not us, but like our guides wanted us to talk about this energetic sovereignty concept. So bringing back all your power, your energy that maybe you gave maybe to different, let's say, energetic drains before without being conscious of it, and now you're reclaiming your power back. And I believe that a lot of people here are empathic people, empathic starseeds, and we often struggle with that concept of overgiving and not having strong enough boundaries. But right now, I believe this is the time where we have to shine.
Right.
And Sirius is here to help us with that, and also to reclaim that power and that energy within Leo season.
You're absolutely right, because I want to talk for myself on the personal side. For so many years, I was looking for myself. What was my path? And like wasting a lot of energies on what I was not supposed to. And we know that we're in that loop. It's so much draining. And when you know that deep down there's something that you really need to do and you have to do in this life, so that's why that's the best opportunity to really go into your path.
Yeah, well said, Elena. Really well said. So without further ado, this is what we're going to be doing for the 888 portal, so 888 portal this year. And we call this activation stepping into your own power. So we're really excited about this one. I'm sure a lot of you are excited for this activation because there is kind of a logical, let's say, suite of events of energy. And I'm going to ask you also, Elena, in just a second after we talk about this activation, what is, let's say, the crescendo of energy that we've been through, because we were gotten to put up, let's say, three different activations before this one. And every time your guides and my guides and our guides have a plan in mind, like an evolutionary plan in mind with, let's say, helping us to get, let's say, further on in our mission, to get stronger, to feel more empowered. So this one takes its place within this series of activation, but also, of course, this is a standalone activation. And so stepping into your own power, Lionsgate activation will be on 8/8, and we put it at 8 p.m. Eastern. So there will be a quadruple 8 to really give everybody this, let's say, feeling of prosperity, abundance, luck, wealth, spiritual guidance. So we have a special discount code that will give you 15% off, and it is Lionsgate 15, all in one word. And this will be available until August 4th, so a few days before the actual activation. And yeah, we are looking forward to see you all here. Of course, if that resonates with you, we will be working on reclaiming our own power, setting up energetic boundaries, reclaiming all of that vital energy, and really using it to the best of our potential and our abilities. And I'd like to ask Sol if you could pull cards in order to see what kind of work we're going to be asked to do for this activation.
Oh, that's a great question. And that post I was saying to you girls backstage, it just looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible event. You can feel it. So let's have a look and see. Okay, and Spirit's just telling me to flip these straight over, which usually means they're getting to the point with something. Okay, so I've got my symbol for the Syrian gateway. So the first one, though, is Ace of Cups. This is full, stand in your power activation, don't hide your light, which is all, the meaning of kind of being that magnificent light and shining forth like the Leo energy or the lion energy. We also see within this, there's a beautiful rose that's opening. And we see there's a triune type interlocking circles in the center, but we see it's like rainbow light activation or rainbow body activation. Here's my little Syrian gateway. So for over 20 something years, this symbol has appeared to me reoccurringly. And it's interesting, my oldest daughter, when she was 18 months, you know how kids, when they're plugged into spirit, they just say the most amazing things. I kept seeing this, and one day we were walking, and there was little gum nuts with sticks in between, forming that symbol. So, like, not something that you would find in nature, organically placed that way. Something, maybe it was the fairies had placed it that way. And I asked her, I'm like, "What does that mean?" And she's like, "It's the gateway." And then she laughed, and then went back into being a baby. Um, so
Wow.
sometimes kids, will say exactly what things are, but for me, this is about accessing outside of our matrix. So it's activating the crystals in the pineal, the crystals in the ears, our own kind of inner crystalline gateway to get up and out. And look at the amount of light that we're going to be activating and bringing in this beautiful activation that you girls are doing. And we're really going to be mastering and drawing a lot more to us. So with the magnets, this is also about like energetically protecting your auric field. So the little Achilles heel is leaking a little bit of energy. So just be conscious of making sure that you've got sacred space set up at home, like when you're doing that activation, that you don't have distractions. With this, it's Neo in the Matrix as well. So when he gets to that point of where he can bend reality. So if you guys are doing the work leading up to this, meaning like our soul family and us all individually, there's preparation that we need to do leading up to this moment, because it's going to be a huge activation. So I can't wait for this. This is going to be really exciting.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Soul. I'm having tingles. And Jody is also saying, wow, lots of good energy. My crown chakra is tingling. Yeah, me too. Elena, your thoughts on Soul's reading? And also I have a subsequent question after that. So
Well, thank you so much, Sol. The cards are amazing. And I just want to say, I have a feeling if someone from the community is feeling that you need to know a bit more before getting into this activation, I feel like you should meet with Sol to book an appointment, because I feel like there's some information, like if you really feel like you want to get some information before, like you said, Sol, it's better to be prepared. So as of today, let's be prepared. Let's do like meditation. What is connecting for you right now that you need to do until like the 8th of 8th?
Yeah, it seems like it's bigger than we initially thought.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
very
I
important.
hadn't looked into it previously, and every now and then there's certain years where I really feel to go big in setting up a grid activation. The energy for this year, looking at the cards, this is huge. And 10 of Cups, it's also connected to unconditional love, to Mary Magdalene energy. It's called Wishes Fulfilled. It's the card of our dreams literally coming true. So if we're getting into the right mindset, the right alignment, we're getting rid of and purging anything else, this is the moment to stand in your truth of what it is that you want to be, do, and see in the world.
Wow. And I love the fact that you had this magnet kind of card and all this light coming in. So it's also allowing us to use our vital energy and our sacred energy to really magnetize with that feminine energy, Mary Magdalene, magnetize all of our heart desire, because also Leo's connected with the heart, that Lion's Gate is connected with the heart. So it's not just this spiritual concept that is very, let's say, far reaching. It's also something that is very close to your heart, and it's going to bring you joy, love, fulfillment. So I love that. And I want to ask you, Elena, because yes, I did look into my notes. So and I'm going to say you were guided to create 3 activations so far before this one in 2024. And every time you come up to me and you're like, we're going to do an activation. And I'm like, okay. The Oracle has spoken. So you always have like very clear guidance about why we need to do it and when it's going to be. And usually I come up, like, let's say, and like give you the astrology to find like the exact date, but you always have like a clear idea of like what's being needed for us. So can you maybe explain the process, but like say the progression of energy from the first one, which was the Libra full moon eclipse activation we had in March. We were talking a lot about releasing karmic contracts, releasing anything that no longer holds, karmically speaking. Then the second one dealt with abundance, the abundance activation we did in May. And then the third one was the Atlantis activation in June, activating a lot of our past psychic gifts, connecting with our guides. And then this one, stepping into our power as Starseeds Lightworkers. So can you explain a little bit of the progression and let's say why you were guided to put this one up?
Well, first of all, we started with a purge. The first one was very intense, releasing a lot, talking about like we needed to release a lot to be able to give more space of what was going on right now. Going into the second activation, then after getting all the abundance, looking at all the energy that we needed to balance as well. And something very powerful what was going on what was the date exactly? You don't remember the date. It was in May. It was in May.
May 8th, I believe.
May 8th or 7th.
Let me check.
Was it like the
May 7? You're right. May 7.
Okay. So it was close to one of the luckiest day.
New moon in Taurus.
Getting a lot of powerful and beautiful energy, feeling that Taurus energy as well. So because we want to have abundance, we want to be able to have money to enjoy life. So as well, so we were getting all that energy, and right after we step into the energy of the Atlantis, going back there to see where are we coming from as well, getting the messages from our guides and also connecting even more with our guides. And right now that we did all this work, we're ready to step as a lion. And we have that strong energy walking in like very, very strong. Like that meditation we did Friday was very powerful. And it's like even helping even more to what we're going to do into this Lion Gates energy.
Well, that makes total sense because like you cannot, let's say, shine your light and rise as the lion, as you said, if you are not, let's say, letting go of like extra weight on your shoulder or what you've been carrying from lifetime to lifetime that don't resonate with your new frequency. So it makes total sense that there was some work being needed before we can really step into the really, let's say, true power of the Leo and of the Lionsgate. That makes total sense.
Yeah, because before we weren't ready. Right now, it's like it's the time to do it. And even like I said, even if like there's so many things going on right now in the world, nothing is stopping us. We're just diving in there.
I love that, and I do resonate with that. Nothing will be stopping us. Yes, love it. And I wanted to ask another question to Sol, if that's okay, Sol, with you, of course. So I was wondering, because we started the show by talking about the controversy and people saying Lion Gates is a hoax. It's a spiritual, let's say, a spiritual hoax, and it's just to make money. This is not something really true. So, and then we spoke about the astronomy alignments, the numerological power, and all of that stuff, which is, let's say, proofs and added to the cards, what the cards were saying, that it is indeed a powerful portal. But I want to know why, let's say, was this like smear campaign organized towards Lionsgate?
Yeah, it's interesting how there's like a disempowerment around this. And, you know, if we look throughout history, even in like the ancient Egyptian side of things, you know, with say like, for example, Hathor's face being taken off or erased off a lot of the statues, they're usually trying to hide magic, especially like divine feminine magic and connection. And it's also like how the number 9 and 13 has been covered up a little, more so 13. Or they'll try and introvert things. Like even 666 is actually like the mathematical number for man. So you see the Leonardo da Vinci picture with the man with the arms out, the legs out. So yeah, it's interesting how they'll invert and flip things. So if they're saying like, don't pay attention to it, maybe we should pay attention to it.
Good point, Phil.
What's interesting again, I have the same symbol. I have the 3 of discs come up again. And this is in a different deck. So this is the Mother, the Maiden, the Crone, but it's 3 of coins again. So this is about definitely activating like all of these aspects within you. This is Capricorn and Mars energy, and it's also known as a fire that cannot be extinguished by water. So they might try and smear it, they might try and wash it out, water it down, but there's something within us that knows that this is a powerful portal or activation. We also have Queen of Cups and Four of Cups. So Queen of Cups, this is about connecting into the higher spiritual realms, into the unseen realms, and flooding this energy into the earth realm. So it's to become a reflection or a portal for the divine on this day. And Four of Cups is trying to get us to be distracted. We know in the traditional deck, it's the man with his arms crossed, looking just at the three cups, just looking at the physical, but there's the spiritual energy in the background wanting to manifest and to kind of get us to pay attention. So yeah, it looks like that there's been a bit of a, as you were saying, a smear campaign around this, but it definitely looks like it's still something to tune into.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And as you're saying, like whenever they're trying to distract us from something that holds true power, we kind of know the game already, so we can see the signs now. Corbin, a good one. He says, Julia, I recall that Cancer new moon was at 14 degree too. You think there's a connection to that energy? Yes, definitely, Corbin. That's a really good point. When we did the Cancer new moon meditation on the channel, yes, we were really stepping into this Sirius energy, which was aligning with Sirius. And totally right to bring that up again, because I think when we go into the Lionsgate portal, this is a chance to really, let's say, oh, is it thunder?
Yes.
Wow. That was loud. I was like, either it's someone in the back or thunder.
Thunder. So powerful.
Wow. Okay. So we were talking about powerful stuff. Okay. So I think this is a sign. I believe there will be, let's say, shocking manifestations of what we were manifesting at the Cancer new moon. So I can't remember the date exactly. It was somewhere in July, and I can come up with the date if you give me a few seconds. It was on July 5th. So July 5th was a new moon in Cancer, exactly aligning with Sirius, and now we have the heliacal rising of Sirius come to the Lion's Gate. So I do believe a lot of people's wish have a chance to be, let's say, manifested when that portal comes. And remember, Sirius is the star that gives us prosperity, luck, abundance, and all sorts of opportunities to step into like the type of life that we truly want with the heart. So
I remember I was crying on that meditation. So I feel like a lot of people were like letting go of like some emotion. And we were talking about a baby, like, and also breathing. And yeah, it was powerful.
Wow. I love that. And Corbin, wow, you have the good comments tonight. I keep putting them on the screen. He says 9 is my number. More shows about numbers. Love numerology. I wish I knew more about it. And yes, myself, I'm diving more and more into numerology. And I want to ask Sol a question about numerology, because we did talk about the side of, that the 8 in numerology deals with this cycle of death and rebirth. It deals with abundance, prosperity, power. But also, I believe there's a karmic side to that 8. So I'd like to know, maybe Sol with the card, if we can ask maybe the cards, what is this, let's say, what is the link with the karma that's going to be unfolding with the Lionsgate portal? Is it dissolving? Are we completing karmic loops? What is going to happen in regards to karma?
Yeah, that is a great question, especially because we've had these 2 Capricorn full moons.
Yeah.
My name equals a 9, so is my partner as well. So it's interesting to look at your name numerology and your birth date. So let's have a look to do with this.
I have 9s all over, and Sophie too, where yes.
So in regards to the karmic situation, I actually see like a lot of yellow. I'm just going to flip these over. So yellow for me is, and I'm seeing it now when I'm flipping the cards, is in every single card. There's like a yellow golden color. But when I get the vision, when I'm touching the cards, to me, this is Spirit's way of saying there's lessons and things to be learned. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. So we're balancing out some things. We're also becoming in alignment with certain things. So it's not just that we're like letting go of old situations. And I know with the Capricorn, energy that we've been in, there was very much like clear messages around not reaching out to, ex-partners or things that you don't want to be karmically pulled back into. So it does seem like that we're kind of on this border of making a decision around some of these things. Some of these things are played out for lifetimes as well. And with this, we have a lot of Jupiter expansion, growth energy. To me, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's about being in the sweet spot. So we kind of have to do the inner work. We have to like really have done this card of the Aeon. So here, the little Hebrew translation for Shin, this little symbol that looks like a Triton, it means to break a clay pot down. So if we've got, for example, like a little clay pot, which might be our old version of self, our belief systems, all the things that have happened to us karmically, we have to break this down so that we take the clay and we build and we mold something brand new that we fire and put in for the future. So with this, it does look like, I would be doing a little bit more of karmic cord cutting, doing a little bit more work leading up to this. This is also a bit of a rebirth. And we see here it's going from like 3D into 4 into 5D. So with these babies, they're in like different kind of like energy alignments. And we can see there's a bit more freedom and flexibility with this as well. And then Ace of Swords energy. So we're opening up to higher alignments. We're opening up to the universe actually coming in, but we need to do that work of detachment so the universe can bring us, also that God can bring us, higher things. So definitely helps to be connected with your higher self and to, be activating and working with not only alignment with your crown chakra, but alignment with source. And what I want to say too, like with regards to activations and things, when we're doing it in a group session, it's amplified. So if you're at home and you're doing it, but you want to have kind of that bit of energy bubble or that little bit of psychic assistance, it's just so much more powerful when we do it in a group setting because we're doing it. It's, what do they say? Or this would be like 8 times 8 times 8 with that activation. So, what is it? 1 + 1 = 2 or equals 3. Man and woman, equal giving birth to a child. So there's more energy magnified. So I just can't wait for it. It's going to be amazing.
I love it, Sol. And yes, that totally makes sense because when we're doing it in group and we all connect together, especially people that are highly, let's say, connected to their higher self, psychic, as you guys are from this community, when we're all doing it together, it amplifies the energy. And as you said, Sol, 888, it's also a number of great power. So I believe we will be gaining a lot of strength. And it's a very powerful energy for a manifestation. And Jake is saying, I feel it's bringing in past life rebalancing of karmic lessons throughout lifetimes. Yeah. And I do resonate with that very much. And as Sol, you were saying, so we might still have a little bit of work leading up to this activation to do on our own. Or of course, if you need help, there's always help you can book with Solreta or Sophie, or if you have anyone close to you that can help you with those things. But I believe, yes, we will be needing maybe to sort out what we want to manifest, do some cord cutting rituals, and get clear with our connection to our guides and to source before that. Wow, beautiful. I'd like to ask you, Elena, so we talked about, let's say, this empowerment of Starseeds Lightworkers, people from this community. But who do you think it's for, this activation? Who do you think is going to benefit the most from doing this type of work?
To be honest with you, I feel like everybody will benefit, even like just to get all the energy that are going on right now with the Leo energy, Sirius energy, and to know more about yourself. Everybody's going to benefit a bit. Even let's say if you didn't do all the activation before, of course, you're going to get something from this so powerful. And I feel like it's a strong energy, but it's a positive, very positive energy. So
Yeah.
yes, we're healing, and healing, it's a process. It's always part of the process, but right now it's like you're getting something positive, like, and you're just doing like another big step through your path.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, well said. I really resonate with that too. But I feel also like if you are working with energy, you're going to, of course, see a lot of benefits from this beautiful meditation. And just before we end this show, some people have suggested that I should put up a schedule on the website. So thank you guys. This is a great idea. I'm going to look into that. So we're going to have for our next shows, well, basically the live shows are every Wednesday, and then every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have the Galactic show, which is not yet on the board, but it will be very soon. We were just waiting for some confirmation. But every Wednesday, your rendezvous is here on the Divine Feminine Rebirth show at 7 p.m. Eastern. But I'm going to try to put up a schedule. This is a good idea. So we have, of course, the pick a card tomorrow. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, we'll have a special show, which is the August predictions for all the 12 zodiac signs, tarot, and astrology. And we're going to be live with Sophie. So please join us over there. And then on Friday, we'll have the Galactic show at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you, lovely ladies, Elena and Sol, for bringing so much beautiful wisdom to this show. I hope it shed some more light on the Lionsgate portal and the true power of this energy. And thank you for joining us. Bye, everybody, and have a beautiful rest of your evening.
Love you guys. Thank you.